Sage Wanderer here, and many of you have challenged me about the feasibility of having a wood fire in the event of a bug out, being as the smoke might give you away. So I have in this box a new invention that will fix this problem, presumably. What I have in here is what's called a wood gasifier stove. This is the Solow Titan wood gasifier stove unboxing. Probably will also make a video. I'll probably edit all this together where I'll show you a burn time. We'll do a boil on it. We'll show you the flames at night. This is kind of my new toy, so I'm going to make a long video about this. And this is the first portion, the unboxing. Woo, almost got my finger. Did you see that? When I'm not wearing my glasses. So here I have the Solow stove. This is supposed to, yep, the Titan. This is the Titan Solow stove. And I'm going to get the pot that goes with this and the tripod stand. I'm going to get the whole system just a little at a time. This is my birthday present to me. So the Solow stove Titan, we'll unbox that. I also purchased the alcohol burner for this. So this is this holds alcohol and will replace the wood burning portion of this and make it an alcohol stove if I want to be super stealthy and have zero smoke. But this wood stove, this wood gasifier is supposed to eliminate the smoke for the most part and make an invisible smokeless fire. And then this is the kit they sent me. That is the it's a Valentine's Day promotion. So this is s'mores. So we're gonna make s'mores and we're gonna do a boil test and all this stuff in this video. But we'll save the s'mores for later. Alcohol stove. Let's get right to the meat of this. So I've been waiting a long time for this thing, and super happy it finally got here. So there's the instructions. Got some tags on here. This is the stove itself. This is what matters. And when you look at this, you're going to think, how is that a stove? How is that? What is wood gasification? So I'm going to try to explain it to you. I do like that it has its own cover here, so it keeps all of the wood, charcoal and stuff all contained. This is a two-piece stove, two separate pieces. So you have the main burner here, and this is the pot stand. And I don't have a pot to show you, but you know, a coffee pot or a cup or any kind of stainless steel cookware can sit right up here on these three legs. And so it seems simple enough. How does this work? You can see in the bottom that this fire is, I hope you can see down in the bottom and see the crisscross wires down inside there. So this is, the oxygen feeds in the bottom of the stove. So the wood comes from, the oxygen comes in under the wood and feeds oxygen to the fire from underneath. So oxygen is drawn in through these vent holes on the bottom. Now, once it heats up, the hot air starts to be drawn in through the inner wall, because there's an inner container and an external container. And the air comes in and it goes between the two walls when it gets superheated. And the end result is wood gas comes pouring out of these round holes, just like a gas grill would, just like a gas burner in your RV or your wood stove or your gas stove would work. And it just looks like gas. And with this on here, you can have your pot sitting on top and you can feed your wood in there. And we're just going to use sticks, just stuff we picked up along the river. Just, you know, dry stuff as best we can. I've got some dry wood I keep in the car that I'm going to use, and we're just going to load this thing up, and we'll use a ferro rod striker, and we'll do a boil test on it and check it out. This will also burn wood pellets. So this is a do-everything, covert, smokeless fire pit that you take with you in your bug-out bag. Take it down by the river fishing. And they do make several sizes of this. There's one size smaller for backpackers. There's one that's quite a bit bigger that's for a small group called the campfire. And then they got the really big one for a giant group called the bonfire. And I think the smaller stoves probably work better, but there's a new one coming out called the Ranger that's in between the campfire. The campfire is $109 right now. This stove I paid $89. I paid $89 for this. For 20 bucks more, I could have got the much bigger one. But I'm probably going to get that one too. But we'll do a test on the Titan, and maybe we'll get the campfire next. You also have a tripod system like this, so you can suspend the pot. The pot that goes with this fits it perfectly. Each of these smaller stoves are paired with a pot, and they have a lot of great features. They cost almost as much as the stove though, because like the pot for this stove is $46. So that would put the 89 plus 46 should be like $130 for this with a pot. But you can also get the tripod system for suspending the pot, so you can dangle it closer and further away from the fire. Now you're gonna see fire shoots out of this thing. It's quite amazing, and I know it doesn't look like much, but when we fire it up, you're gonna be like, wow. So yeah, but if you got all this stuff, you can have quite a system. I want to get the really the next size up, which is campfire, for $109, and the pot that goes with that, and then maybe the Ranger, which is in between the campfire and the big bonfire, which just came out. Like, I'm not even sure you can buy it yet, but it's going to be about 200 bucks. So this stuff isn't cheap, but it should last a lifetime. This will be the last wood stove you'll ever need. You can improvise these with other stainless steel items and make this stuff if you know what you're doing. You can even make it out of a couple of coffee cans. You can find that. But I wanted something that was going to be really reliable and highly efficient and virtually smoke-free. And this is the only one that is really just totally smoke-free as far as I can tell. And we're going to experiment with this in this video and future videos. So meet my new friend, the Solow Titan. We're going to start off with a little drier lint here as tinder. I think it's better. I've seen people have better luck with this on a startup to kind of do an upside down fire. So we're going to take some of these bigger sticks and lay them down here across like this. Put a couple of these longer ones in here like so. And just kind of load this stove up beforehand. Notice how we started bigger and we're actually getting smaller now. Lay this up there on that like so. Should be all that's needed to get going, I hope. Save a little dryer lint just in case I fail the first time. Hopefully we'll be able to get this going just like this. I'm gonna fluff this up a little bit. I gotta kind of pack it down. Well, let's see if this is gonna work. See how good I am at fire starting. got good dry stuff here, so it shouldn't be a problem. Ferro rod, big spark. Now right now there's a little bit of smoke, there probably will be, but as it burns down and the stove heats up, then you're going to get the gasification effect when the air between the two walls inside the stove heat up and start to circulate air in and up, and hot superheated air comes pouring out these inside vents. So when the fire kind of gets below those vents and the stove gets warmed up, you'll see the gasification process happen when we put the lid on. So you can see now it's starting to catch good, and I've started adding some of these little sticks to it. What I really want to do is get this to burn down so I can get the lid on it. But you can start to see it starting to gasify already. You're starting to see fingers of flames shooting out from these holes around the top. And when I get this burned down enough to get the lid on, you're going to really see it burning mainly gas. And when that happens, there's no smoke. You're noticing the smoke is already starting to go bye-bye. And the cool thing about this stove and the family of Solow stoves is that in most places where they ban campfires, this is not considered a campfire. It's considered like a hibachi stove or a charcoal grill. And it's just a wood grill, a wood stove. And so it is not considered an open flame. And when it burns down, you'll see really why when I get it all inside there. But there we go. It is hot. Don't touch it. It's hot.
Stick it out.
Stick in there. All right. Don't try that at home. Woo. Hurt my finger a little bit. Okay, so now you're starting to see this really calm down into a gasifier. You can see there's just almost no smoke up here at all. I think you could use this easily inside of a shelter. We're kind of under a shelter now. This is like an excellent bug out companion. This will burn anything flammable, really. And when you add the gas stove to it, the alcohol stove, when you add the alcohol stove to it, it's completely smokeless and safe for indoors. If you use Everclear, you can use it even in the house. I wouldn't hesitate to use this in an enclosed space if I was careful and left the window open and I had plenty of cross ventilation. As you can see now, shoot down into this. You can see now that you're seeing these fingers of flames shoot out through the holes inside underneath the pot stand, and how this thing is just flat turned into a gas stove, that it's burning the gas from the wood. It's converting the wood into gas in a secondary burn that happens when that superheated air comes out through the holes. I mean, these things are definitely an innovation in survival gear, and I intend to have everybody's getting one of these. Just, you already know what you're getting for Christmas, family. And this will burn a long time on a very little bit of wood, and it puts out a tremendous amount of heat. And in the next segment, we're going to do a boil test and see how long it takes to boil water. All right, looks like we got the stove heated up. We got some good gasification going. We topped her off, and I have prepared 2 cups of water in this standard nesting pot. And we're going to put it on and see how long it takes it to boil. Okay, so we're like at 3 minutes and 10 seconds right now, and if you look down in there, you can see we're already starting to get a little bit of a boil. but we won't count it till it's a rolling boil. But this is a really fast boil with just 2 cups of water in this stove system. This may be it's fast as propane. This is fast as propane. And once again, it's relatively smoke-free, even though I am using pine. This stuff is pine. And I will transition over to some fruit wood and some hardwood if I ever were to cook some food on here. But just for boiling water, this pine works good. We're at 342, and we got a simmer going. It's about to roll. It's going to roll any minute. Yeah, I'm about to call this a rolling boil. That's looking like calling it right now. 4 minutes and 60, or less than, just like right at 4 minutes. That's a 4-minute boil. Show it again, it's boiling to beat the band. Yeah, I'd let that boil a little while longer if I was gonna purify the water, but this is clean water, so we were just making some coffee. And I gave it away, so it would be a waste of water if I didn't make coffee. Oh, yeah, it's gasifying good now. I will say this, that if you let the fire die down and you don't tend it, and it'll stop gasifying and smoke a little bit, but as soon as you get, as soon as you get it poked and get it going again and keep the wood moving, it's just virtually smoke-free. And you will not go away from this smelling like smoke, more than likely. You will be hardly any odor to it. And but yeah, overall, this is awesome. We're going to make some s'mores here in a minute. Oh, camp coffee. And I just love that this doesn't qualify as a fire, as a campfire, but it gives you a lot of the comfort of a campfire. And like I said, there's a tripod that goes with this that you can order. There's a pot that works perfectly, although this one works pretty nice. That's a pretty good mate. But the pot that comes with it has a lot of great features. It also, the stove nests inside the pot, and so it's worth the money. But yeah, Solow stove. I chose not to settle for a cheap knockoff. You can get stoves as cheap as 20 bucks, but who knows what's in the metal. And I know this is good stainless steel. It's going to last for years and years. And this stove is not going to kill me with some kind of poisonous additive to the stainless steel. This is good, clean stainless, and so is the pot that goes with it. I'll probably get the windscreen, and I'll probably order the next biggest one, for group camping, and keep this in the car for the bug out bag. But yeah, next, s'mores. Alright, so the kit consisted of several of these little graham crackers. This came from Solow stove. And a little Hershey bars, and then they gave us these heart-shaped marshmallows. We're going to see how hard it is to roast a heart-shaped marshmallow. I feel like Cupid. I'm piercing your heart with my arrow. Let's see how that works. Not sure how this is going to work. I've never tried to roast a marshmallow shaped like a heart before. Got to get the receiver ready. I bet you could do a bunch of these at once, but we're just going to do one. Oh, don't let it catch. Don't let it catch, Sage. Don't let it catch. I feel like a little kid. Except my marshmallow's deformed. It's kind of heart-shaped. That's weird. I'm going to try this with regular marshmallows.
It's going to fall off.
It is going to fall off. Ah! Ow, 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 ow. I say it's hot. I can't get the candy out. Put that up there so it burns that stuff off. So I don't know if that was a fail or what. I'm not very good at making s'mores. I think it's because it was falling off. It didn't get totally roasted right. I'm gonna try his trick. Ow! It's hot! It's hot. Let me have the other one. So let me heat this up. Potential fail. Potential internet fail. I think this would have worked great if I had a regular marshmallow. It would have stayed on better. All right, I think I'm getting some meltage now. Oh yeah, we got hot s'more and a little toast on the graham cracker on the back end. I got this cool for a minute. It's a s'more. Okay, so it's the next morning after the initial burn. And I don't know, I guess we burned the stove for maybe 45 minutes and made some s'mores and some coffee. And now I'm just going to show you. You know, it went out pretty quick. When I stopped feeding it, it had some coals on it for maybe another, I don't know, it probably had coals enough to cook for another 30 minutes after we quit feeding it. But then after that, it quickly died. And it used up all of the fuel. If you look in here, you can see that there's almost nothing to it. And there's just some ash and a couple of chunks. And you can see I got an empty bucket here. We're going to dump all the ashes out so you can kind of see what was left in there. That's all of them. So yeah, you can kind of see it burned down to just that little bit of ash. All that pile of wood I had there. And probably the most efficient, you know, almost no smoke as long as I kept it going. And it burned all of the wood and left almost no waste. And yeah, I'm really impressed overall with the Solow stove. I think it's really, yeah, I just think it's an awesome deal.